There's a few things that Jeff Bezos is good at. One is selling books and then eventually moving to selling everything and crushing every other company. Two is being bald. Look at this guy, so sexy. Come here, girl. Oh, hi everybody, I'm here. Number three is fighting tabloids. Jeff Bezos does not let anyone blackmail him over dick pics. My buddy sent me this. Alexa, send nudes to my secret admirer. Got it, sending nudes to the National Enquirer. You know, I always wondered what slow jams Jeff would tell Alexa to play at night. I was thinking maybe R. Kelly, but maybe not because, you know, everyone had to distance themselves from him. Rightfully so. And then I thought maybe he's just one of those guys who puts on nature sounds like the beach or the ocean or the forest. You know, just ambient stuff. He'll be like, Alexa, will you please play some sounds from the Amazon? Yes, Jeff Bezos is good at a lot of things, but one thing he is not good at is getting divorced. Nope, losing all that money, having your business all over the interwebs, probably winding up with a gold digger who's gonna take another half of your money. Jeff Bezos, not good at being divorced. You know who is good at getting divorced though? This guy. This man's name is Lou Pai, and he is the #1 divorcer in the world. No one gets a divorce done like him. And sure, he looks like just a mild-mannered, middle-aged man in this photo, but no, he is a tiger. Lou Pai might be the only person in history who actually managed to make $280 million by having an affair with a stripper, getting her pregnant, and then losing both his marriage and his extremely high-paying corporate job, which out of all places was at Enron. You're gonna see how that plays into this story later. So Lou Pai was born in Nanjing, China in 1946, and him and his parents, they moved to the United States, where Lou went to college and was considered a mathematical genius. He joined Enron in 1987 and quickly climbed the ranks. At the time Lou joined Enron, the company was still a mid-sized regional energy supplier, but within a decade, both Enron and Lou were rising stars. Lou eventually became one of Enron CEO Jeff Skilling's most trusted and highest-ranking executives. The guy knows how to work his way up a corporate ladder. Smart guy. And eventually, in March of 1997, Lou was named CEO of a subsidiary called Enron Energy Services. But as it turns out, one of the things that Lou is bad at is running an energy company. Because between 97 and 2001, EE blew through $500 million in operating expenses without ever generating any significant revenues. Between all the various subsidiaries of Enron that Lou ran, his tenure resulted in over $1 billion in losses. So when it comes to business, Lou is good at losing money. When it comes to divorces, he's good at making money. Yeah, everything balances out. Kind of. You'll see. But before shit hit the fan for both EES and Enron, Lou Pai was one of the most important and highest paid people at the company. During his tenure as CEO, Lou earned approximately $100 million in salary alone. Wow. He also received enormous grants of valuable Enron stock. And when times were good, Lou Pai also had a reputation for enjoying the Houston area strip clubs. Wow, he would be best friends with Drake, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Actually, Lou Pai's penchant for strip clubs wasn't a reputation, it was a legend. In that book about Enron, The Smartest Guys in the Room, they said the only two things that seemed to motivate Lou Pai was money and a peculiar fascination with strippers. What a guy, money and strippers. He even used to have a theme song when he walked in the club, all the strippers would start singing. Strip club, Louie, will you rub on my nuts for a couple of bucks? Strip club, Louie, I'll give you a nickel if you tickle my pickle. Strip Club Louie, what a guy. He would supposedly visit a particular Houston strip club right next to Enron's world headquarters every night after work, and he would conduct meetings at the strip club and treat the top performing salesmen with wild backroom parties that were all funded by his Enron corporate expense account. As legend has it, the strippers didn't believe that such a mild-mannered, almost meek person would actually be a powerful energy CEO. You know what? Those strippers are racist. Louie is absolutely a CEO. Look at him. So Louie had to prove his identity by bringing those strippers up to the lavish Enron offices where they would continue the party late into the night. In order to not get caught by his wife, on the way home, Louie would stop by a gas station and splash a little bit of gasoline on himself. To get rid of the stripper scent. Can you imagine him going home, his wife asking, honey, why do you smell like gasoline? And Louie the dog is just like, well, at least I don't smell like strippers. Leave me alone, woman. Or at least that's how I imagine how they talk to each other. And Louie's voice is really gruff because of all the cigarettes in the strip club. But anyway, eventually his trips to the strip club turned into a full-on affair with a stripper named Melanie Farrell? I don't know. But just like Louie, Melanie was also married with 2 kids. But then it got even messier because Louie is not only only a dog, but he likes to raw dog. He was caught slipping, got the stripper pregnant, and as soon as Louis's wife found out, obviously she filed for a divorce. Enron had just about had it with Louis with all the strip club expenses and the disaster that his portion of the company had become. So he wasn't fired, but he wasn't encouraged to stay on as the CEO of EES. God, rough break for Louis, right? All he was trying to do is have a little fun at the strip club, and then his company kicks him out and his wife files for a divorce. I mean, come on, leave the guy alone. Karma must have been catching up to him. Or was it? In order to pay the costly financial terms of his divorce settlement, Louis was forced to cash out 100% of his Enron stock. So he sold out everything at $72 a share and came out with $280 million. And this was right near the top of Enron because the highest share price they ever hit was $90.56. It's a pretty good area to sell. And then Louis's ex-wife and the kids were paid an undisclosed lump sum that is believed to be in the tens of millions. She also got the Houston mansion and a Houston condo and a $3 million house in Hawaii. So, you know, she made out pretty well. And then Louis, because he's such a good guy, he's a dog but a good guy. Well, he loved this stripper and he married her like a good man should. And together with their baby, they moved to Colorado, where Louis became the second largest landholder in the entire state after purchasing a 120 square mile ranch in a mountain range from Enron to rancher. All right, okay. And here is the beautiful part of the story. Just a few months after Louis sold his shares is when Enron started collapsing. So he sold at $72 a share in June of 2001. 2 months later, Enron's share price sunk to $42. 2 months after that, it dropped to $15. A month later, it was down to $1, and a month later after that, it was bankrupt. So it turns out Louis is the luckiest guy ever. Mess around with some strippers that gets you into a little bit of trouble that actually makes you sell all your shares before a big amount of trouble when the company collapses. He walked away just below the peak of Enron's stock price with an estimated $280 million. The only real consequence came in 2008 when he agreed in an out-of-court settlement to pay $31.5 million in civil fines to Enron's investors. But even with that, he admitted no wrongdoing and never spent a moment in handcuffs. And he got a slap on the wrist of not being able to serve as an officer of any public company for 5 years. That's it. So who won here? Not the wife. She only got, what, 10 million? And then she had to watch Louis run off with his stripper. And look how happy they look. I don't know if this is actually them, but according to Google Images it is. And you know, you could trust Google Images just as much as you could trust Louis. Here's Louis again with a picture that I think pretty much sums it up. He has figured out how to win in life. Just mess around, and eventually it works out. So the moral of this story is whatever you're doing, you're probably not spending enough time in the strip club. So please drop what you're doing and be more like Louis. And this is probably one of the reasons why everyone loves people in finance, because they get away with stuff like this. It's the American dream. And next week, I'm going to tell you about a story about a guy who saved $10 billion because he was found with a private jet full of strippers. Really, I'm starting to think that strippers are probably the best investment. But if you'd like to see that story and you'd like more ass-backward life lessons from finance, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell so you get an email notification when that video comes out. So subscribe and I'll see you there. In the meantime, stay fallible out there. Bye.